He is, without a doubt, the most prolific actor and comedian, creationist of his time. I'm talking about the one and only Eddie Murphy. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. This is part two of the profile on Eddie Murphy, who has had a long and wondrous career of doing so many wonderful things within the industry known as Hollywood or entertainment. Now, tonight I'm going to focus on his career, and I'll be talking about the important aspects of his career. So let's get started. I don't know if this will be a part three or not, but we're going to talk about his career. From the year 1976 to 1980, about his early stand-up career. When Murphy was 15, he listened to Richard Pryor's comedy album, That Ends Crazy, which inspired his decision to become a comedian. As a child, Murphy developed playing multiple characters in imitation of his acting hero, Peter Sellers. Other early influences included Bill Cosby, Red Fox, Robin Williams, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and Charlie Chaplin. On July 9, 1976, the date with which Murphy marks the beginning of his career, he performed in a talent show at the Roosevelt Youth Center, doing an impersonation of singer Al Green as Green's song Let's Stay Together played. This led to work at other clubs within walking distance, and then late night jobs at locations that required him to commute by train. To do this, he secretly skipped school, and after his mother discovered this at the end of his senior year, he was required to attend summer school. So from 1980 to 1989, this is when acting stardom occurred. In the early 1980s, Murphy first earned national attention as a cast member on Saturday Night Live and was credited with helping to revitalize the show. His characters included a grown-up version of the Little Rascals character Buckwheat, a streetwise children's show host named Mr. Robinson, parodying Fred Rogers, who found it amusing, and a morose, cynical Gumby, whose trademark slogan became an SNL catchphrase, I'm Gumby, damn it. According to Joseph Clokey, whose father Art Clokey created Gumby, both of them thought Eddie was a genius in the way he played that character. The Buckwheat character was retired in spectacular fashion, assassinated on camera in front of 30 Rockefeller Plaza at Murphy's request, after he grew tired of constant demands from fans to do Buckwheat. In Rolling Stone's February 2015 appraisal of all 141 SNL cast members to date, Murphy was ranked second behind John Belushi. It is customary and accurate to say that Eddie Murphy is the only reason SNL survived the 5-year wilderness without Lorne Michaels. The magazine noted, Murphy's early comedy was characterized by copious profanity and sketches lampooning a diverse group of people including white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, African American, Italian Americans, overweight people, and gay people. He released 2 stand-up specials. Delirious was filmed in 1983 in Washington, D.C. Due to the popularity of Delirious, his concert film, Eddie Murphy Raw, in 1987, received a wide theatrical release grossing $50 million. The movie was filmed in the Felt Forum at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Comedians who cite Murphy as influencing them include Russell Brand, Dave Chappelle, and Chris Rock. In 1982, Murphy made his big screen debut in the film 48 Hours with Nick Nolte. 48 Hours proved to be a hit when it was released during the Christmas season of 1982. Nolte was scheduled to host the December 11, 1982 Christmas episode of Saturday Night Live, but became too ill to host, so Murphy took over. He became the only cast member to host while still a regular. Murphy opened up the show with the phrase, live from New York, it's the Eddie Murphy Show. The following year, Murphy starred in Trading Places with fellow SNL alumnus Dan Aykroyd. The movie marked the first of Murphy's collaborations with director John Landis, who also directed Murphy in Coming to America, 1988, and Beverly Hills Cop 3, 1994. Trading Places was an even greater box office success than 48 Hours. Murphy appeared in Best Defense in 1984, co-starring Dudley Moore. Murphy, who was credited as a strategic guest star, was added to the film after an original version was completed but tested poorly with audiences. Best Defense was a major financial and critical disappointment. When he hosted SNL, Murphy joined the chorus of those banishing Best Defense, calling it the worst movie in the history of everything. The same year, he won a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Recording for his album Eddie Murphy, Comedian. He has been nominated for a total of 3 Grammy Awards. Murphy starred in the successful action film Beverly Hills Cop 1984. The film was Murphy's first solo leading role. Beverly Hills Cop grossed over $230 million at the U.S. box office, becoming the highest grossing film released in 1984, the highest grossing comedy of all time, and the highest grossing R-rated film of all time as of May 2018. It was 46 in the list of all-time U.S. box office grossers after adjusting for inflation, third highest among R-rated films. Murphy was offered a part in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, 1986, a role that, after being heavily rewritten from comic relief to love interest, ultimately went to Catherine Hicks. By this time, Murphy's near-exclusive contract with Paramount Pictures rivaled Star Trek as Paramount's most lucrative franchise. By 1986, he launched Eddie Murphy Television Enterprises with a deal at Paramount Television. Murphy starred in the supernatural comedy The Golden Child in 1986. Although The Golden Child performed well at the box office, the movie was not as well received as 48 Hours. Trading Places and Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child was considered a change of pace for Murphy because of the supernatural setting as opposed to the street-smart settings of his previous efforts. Not long afterward, he reprised his role of Alex Foley in the Tony Scott-directed Beverly Hills Cop 3 in 1987. It was a box office success, grossing almost $300 million worldwide. Wow. By the end of the decade, Murphy was Hollywood's biggest box office star. In 1988, Murphy and his Eddie Murphy Television Enterprises company had struck a deal with CBS. From 1989 onward, critical praise for Murphy's films declined, hitting a low point with the critically panned Beverly Hills Cop 3, 1994, a movie Murphy denounced during an appearance on Inside the Actors Studio. Box office receipts also declined compared to his previous films, although he did find some box office success with Another 48 Hours, 1990, and Boomerang, 1992, on Harlem's Nights, 1989. Murphy worked as director, producer, star, and co-writer with his brother Charlie Murphy. The film featured Murphy's comedic idols, Richard Pryor and Red Fox, in supporting roles. During this period, Murphy was criticized by filmmaker Spike Lee for not using his status to help black actors break into film. Although, as Murphy's prominence increased, his films, especially those he produced, often had a mainly black cast. Coming to America, Harlem Nights, Boomerang, Vampire in Brooklyn. Many black actors who later received greater recognition made early appearances in Murphy's films, such as Damon Wayans in Beverly Hills Cop, Halle Berry and Martin Lawrence in Boomerang, Samuel L. Jackson and Cuba Gooding Jr. in Coming to America, Dave Chappelle in The Nutty Professor, and Chris Rock in Beverly Hills Cop 2. Naming The Nutty Professor his favorite comedy, Rock regards Murphy's performance in the film as being so great he had been robbed of an Oscar. Adding his various performances were Peter Sellers, Eskew. You know what, Eddie Murphy sort of had several Oscars by now. I've seen people receive Oscars for movies that were total garbage. Yeah, that's right, I said it, total garbage. And he gave it to them. And we know why Eddie Murphy hasn't received Oscars. Although Murphy has enjoyed commercial success since Saturday Night Live, he did not participate in the making of the Live from New York An Uncensored History of Saturday Night Live, retrospective book by Tom Shales and James Andrew Miller of 2002. Nor did he ever attend cast reunions or anniversary specials until his appearance on the SNL 40th anniversary special. Murphy told Rolling Stone he distanced himself from the show because he was angry with David Spade over the latter's joke about Murphy's career during a segment on SNL, as well as with Lorne Michaels and the production staff for allowing the joke in the first place. Murphy and Spade have since reconciled. It's a lot of reading here, y'all. A lot of reading. I'll continue for a moment, and there's going to be a part 3, maybe a part 4 to this one. Murphy followed the Nutty Professor from 1998 to 2018 family-friendly films and Dreamgirls. Murphy followed the Nutty Professor with a series of successful family-friendly films like Mulan, 1998, Dr. Dolittle, also 1998, and its 2001 sequel, The Shriek series, Daddy Daycare, 2003, and The Haunted Mansion, also 2003, along with Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, in 2000. However, most of his movies meant far more adult audiences performed moderately. Metro, 1997, I Spy, 2002, and Showtime, 2002, all grossed less than $40 million domestically. Holy Man in 1998 performed poorly, grossing less than $13 million. And The Adventures of Pluto Nash of 2002 is on record as one of the biggest financial failures as time, grossing just $7 million worldwide on a reported massive $110 million budget. An exception to this run of poorly received adult-themed films was the Frank Oz comedy Bowfinger, 1999, also starring Steve Martin. The film garnered generally positive critical reviews and grossed $98 million at the box office. Murphy starred in the motion picture version of the Broadway musical Dreamgirls of 2006 as soul singer James Thunder Early. Murphy won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, as well as a Screen Actors Guild and a Broadcast Film Critics Association Award in that category. Several reviews for the film highlighted Murphy's performance, while he received some pre-release Academy Awards buzz, blah, blah, blah. Murphy was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor on January 23rd of 2007, but lost to Alan Arkin for his performance in Little Miss Sunshine. It was speculated that one of the reasons Murphy lost out on winning the Academy Award was the negative reviews of his subsequent film Norbit, released in early February 2007. Murphy notoriously exited the 79th Annual Academy Awards as soon as Arkin was announced the winner. I don't blame him. I would have got the hell out of there too. In 2007, Murphy was invited to join the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Murphy co-starred in Tower Heist 2011, directed by Brent Ratner, alongside Ben Stiller, Matthew Broderick, and Casey Affleck. Murphy played a thief who joins a group of hard-working men who find out they have fallen victim to a wealthy businessman's Ponzi scheme and conspire to rob his high-rise residence. It was reported in 2011 that Murphy would host the 84th Academy Awards in 2012. However, he dropped out of his hosting duties on November 9, 2011, in the wake of the Brent Ratner scandal. On March 8, 2014, it was announced that Murphy would team up with Boomerang co-star Halle Berry in a new film titled Miles and Me. The film was also set to star Lawrence Fishburne and was set to begin pre-production in 2014. From Paramount Pictures, no other word was released about the film or who else was attached. On March 2015, it was announced that Murphy would play comedian Richard Pryor's father, Leroy Pryor, in the upcoming biopic, directed by Lee Daniels, with Mike Epps playing Pryor. As of 2019, the project remains in development hell. I'm going to leave it right there for now. We'll continue. Eddie Murphy, comedian, actor extraordinaire, creationist, one of the best that ever will be. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.